Facebook ads are the most effective way for you to get results for your clients as an agency owner. But what worked 2 years ago doesn't still work today. So in today's video, I'm going to be running through the latest and most effective way for you to get massive return on investment for your clients. I'm going to go through the A to Z from launching your first ad to actually creating the creative itself, and then going to show you the back-end appointment setting system that we're using right now to plug all the holes in our clients' sales systems. Now quickly, for those of you that don't know me, my name's Jordan Platten. I own Affluent.co. We're a 7-figure agency based here in the UK. And we've generated millions for companies all over the globe. And because of that, we made a few mil ourselves. So let's get straight into it. Okay, now the first thing you want to do if you're a complete beginner is set up the Meta Business Suite. I'm not going to do all of that right now, but I will explain it to you. So the Meta Business Suite is essentially your agency management system. So this is the place where you would manage your agency and all the clients underneath it. Within that, you have what's called Ads Manager, where you would manage individual ad accounts. You will have one ad account for each of the clients that you're working with, and you don't want to be advertising for multiple clients on the same ad account. It's going to get really, really messy. Okay. Now, if you haven't got an account yet, I'm going to put a link in the description for the Meta tool section, and you can click this Get Started button and go and create an account. It's very self-explanatory. There's a bunch of training on here as well if you really want to know some of the foundational knowledge behind. But when you actually have got an account, even if you've got one right now, I just want to run through some of the really basic settings that you need to make sure you've got in play before you can start running ads for a client. Now, when you actually got your account, if you go over to the toolbar at the top and go over to business settings, we're going to work our way down. I'm not going to go through all of these, but people. First of all, we want to make sure we are added to this business account so we can actually manage the ads and also our business partners. If we've got any business partners, so we hit add, we type in the email address of the person, okay? We then want to add assigned assets. So any assigned assets or any assets we've already got on here, so any pages or ad accounts that are pre-existing, we can assign those to the relevant people under this section. If we hit pages, this is where we're actually going to add the page that we're going to be managing. Okay, so we need to have access to our client's Facebook page. We're going to hit the add button. We can either request access to a specific page and type it in there, or we can just add a page that we own. Okay, so depending on what you're trying to achieve here. Once we've done that, we want to hit add people and make sure the relevant people on our business manager are assigned to this. Okay, and we want to make sure we tick everything here. We want them to have full access, so they're not held back on anything. We're then going to have ad accounts. So presuming that we've just added a page for one of our new clients, we're going to create an ad account for them. So we can hit add an ad account. We can hit create a new ad account. We're going to go through the simple process to create an ad account, or we can request access to an additional or an outside ad account. Some of the businesses you'll be working with will be running ads already. You don't want to create a new ad account for them in that instance. You want to get access to their existing ad account so you can use all of the assets on there. So we just hit request access, and all they would do is send you the ID, which is seen here. So if you go on an actual ad account, we've got this ad account ID. They're going to send you that ad account ID. You're going to paste it into here, hit confirm, and then you can gain access to their existing ad account. Cool. Instagram account, pretty self-explanatory. You can add any client accounts on there if you want to run ads on Instagram as well. And finally, if we go over to business info, there's a few little things you want to make sure you've got on here to ensure that your account has tight security. So we want to verify this ad account. Okay, this is a dummy account that I'm just using. It's actually Dan, our content manager. Shout out Dan, because I wanted this to be an empty account and not just one of our busy client accounts. You want to verify your business manager. This is really important. You want to add all of your business details as well, so all the details for your agency. And I would add 2-factor authentication on your account as well, so you don't get any hacks and have any downtime. Cool. So the next thing we want to do when we've actually got a client account up and running or we're ready to go is to set up a pixel. Now, a pixel is a small piece of code that we insert into the header of a client's website, which allows us to track how people are behaving on this particular website. So what links they're pressing, what products they're buying, and so on and so forth. If we want to create one, we're going to hit the add button. And we're going to name it whatever we want. And then we can so we can set up the pixel now. We can either add this code manually by clicking here. We're going to paste this code into the header of the website. But if you don't know how to do that, you can either add the code using a partner integration. Now, the majority of businesses you're working with will have their website built on one of these tools: Shopify, Webflow, Wix, WooCommerce, WordPress. Okay, the majority of people are going to be doing that. So all you need to do is click on the relevant web builder, and it's going to take you through a very simple process of how you can actually get this set up. It's going to take you 2 minutes. Worst case scenario, you can, if we go on actually setting this up, We can add this in Events Manager. Events Manager is the place that we're actually going to see all of this data as well. And we go continue pixel setup, meta pixel. We can email these instructions over to the web developer. Okay, so we hit email instructions, then we can type it to the web developer of our client, and they can go set this up if they've got a more complex web setup. But this is very, very important. Cool. Let's go into actually the ad manager itself. So once you've actually created an ad account, it's going to be within Ad Manager. You'll be able to select all your different ad accounts under this drop down here. So all the different clients that you're working with. And this is the Ad Manager page, okay? So we can actually see this ad account in particular. We have campaigns, we have ad sets, and we also have ads. And we're gonna be going through creating an ad now, and I'll explain what each of these do, and then I'll show you how to actually read this data and maximize on results shortly. So if we hit create, and there's gonna be a few of these things that are gonna pop up. And we get asked whether we want to, or what the objective is for our actual ad itself. What are we actually trying to achieve from this ad? Do we want brand awareness? Okay, so do we just want people to see this brand? Do we want traffic through to the website? Do we want engagement, more likes, comments, shares? Do we want leads? Do we want to promote an app, or do we want direct sales? Now, for the majority of the businesses that you're going to be working with, especially if you're a new start agency owner, you're going to only be focusing on leads. Okay, because if you're a new start agency owner, you should be reaching out to local lead generation companies. You want to be reaching out to brick and mortar companies that you can generate leads for and then help them close those leads and appointments at those leads, which we'll get on to shortly. If you're an established agency and you've ventured into e-commerce, which some of you will have, you will use the sales campaign objective because we want to be getting direct sales on a client's website. But we're going to click leads because I want to show you, for the majority of you guys who are kind of just signing up your first ever clients, you're going to be in lead generation. So we want to generate leads from the Facebook platform. And it's really important that you name these campaigns. We're going to go through it from top to bottom. It's really important that you name your campaign something memorable. So we're going to be doing this for a French manicure, okay? And this is going to be leads. Okay, we can do this for lead form, okay? And there's no special ad category, but you would have to mention it here if you fall under either of these. And we're going to ignore all of this for now. We're going to go through the beginner setup, but there's a few little tweaks that's really important you have added on here. We do have the option to A/B test. This is where we can simply test two different ads. So if you're stuck between two different ads or two different offers, and you can A/B test those next to each other, and it'll come up with a decision as to which is the winner by itself. And then we're going to click next, okay? So we don't want to play around with anything else. We're then going to name the ad set itself. Now the ad set is where we can choose what targeting, which people we actually want to reach native to the platform, okay? So we're going to keep this following the same suit. Lead form, French manicure, okay? It's a nice little in product, low barrier to entry product that we can advertise for a beauty clinic. And we're going to target. Okay, we're going to do a 10-kilometer radius. We're just going to do some geographical targeting here. Now we are going to use instant forms. This is where Facebook creates in fact, let me see if I can show you one. This is where Facebook creates a form on the actual platform itself. So you can see here, if you click an ad, let's say you've clicked on this ad here, so if you can see that. So you've clicked on this ad. And what it's then going to do is pop up a form which will allow you to fill in a couple of questions, put in your details, and your information will then be sent to the company. Okay, so this is super relevant if we are promoting this clinic, because we want to get names and numbers of people that are interested in a French manicure. You can send traffic straight through to your website if you've got a landing page. You can also do messenger ads to generate people sending messages to your page. And you can do calls and app as well. But for the majority of you, if you want to get the quickest results possible for your clients and you're working with anybody that needs leads, regardless of the niche, instant forms is where you want to start for the majority, in 99% of cases, for new start agency owners, okay? Especially before you've got proof on specific offers and you can replicate that proof across different clients. Okay, so we're going to do instant forms. We're going to assign the right Facebook page. Okay, this needs to be this needs to be the right page for the business. Okay, let's just do this one here. Okay, fine. And we are then we're going to keep off dynamic creative, but this is where if we've got a bunch of different headlines and text and images that we want to test out, we don't know which ones to use, we can do dynamic creative, and Facebook will basically choose an assortment of all of those and publish it on our behalf, but we're going to keep that off for now. And then we are going to optimize for lead, okay? And we're not going to set a cost per result goal. You can set a cost per result goal, and what this is basically saying is, I want to spend this amount of money to generate a lead with this campaign. But when we're first starting out, you're not going to have an idea of how much money you want to spend to generate a lead because you haven't generated results for that industry yet. Only when you've worked with a client for a minimum of 2 weeks and you have an idea of the cost per lead, should you play around with entering a desired cost per lead, okay? Instead, we're just going to set a daily budget. And I would recommend you setting that budget somewhere around £10, $10 a day. The minimum budget that you want to be spending on ads is $5 per day. Do not go anything lower than that. But around 10 per day would be ideal, and that's enough to get you started, okay? This is per ad. If you want to have an idea of how much a client should be spending full stop, I would recommend a minimum monthly budget of $500. Ideally, it needs to be $1,000 plus if you're working with lead generation clients, but $500 is an absolute minimum if you need to get them through the door. Cool. So we can set the start date if we want to. We're going to keep that as today. We can set an end date as well, but we're not going to play around with that. We're going to keep it running infinitely until the ad stops performing. And then we're going to choose to create our audience. Okay, so the first option we have is custom audiences. Now, these are retargeting audiences based on the Facebook pixel data. Okay, so it might be people that have visited our website or filled in a certain form on a website. And if we want to create those, we just click create, we go custom audience. So we can choose the source, so maybe our website, as I said. And then we can do all website visitors or people who visited a specific page on our website as well, and the time period for that audience as well. So a bunch of different things that we can do. We could be here all day if we're going to go through all this, so we haven't got time. We then have lookalike audiences. Now, a lookalike audience is where we input some data into Facebook. So maybe we've uploaded an email list or we're using the data from the people that visit our website. And then Facebook will then create what's called a lookalike of people that are similar to everybody that have already in that original data pool. So similar to people that have already visited our website. But when we're first starting out, you don't need to be playing around with this at all. What we do want to do is make sure we set location. So let's just say that this business is based in Norwich, where I live, right? We can select either people that are living in or recently in this location, people living in this location, people recently in this location, or people traveling in this location. It's really important you only select people living in this location, especially if it's for a business that like beauty, for example, which we're going to be doing this for. If you're recently in this location, you've been traveling through Norwich, you're not going to want a French manicure, right, in Norwich. You want to be targeting people that are close to this clinic itself, okay? This might be different for different niches though, okay? Some niches, you can play around with this, but for the majority lead gen, living in this location. We can then select the location, so I'm going to get rid of that, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to drop a pin. So if I hit drop pin, zoom in first of all, let's get rid of that. And let's go over. And this is a hypothetical made up clinic in Norwich. I just want to show you the capability. Let's drop a pin because this clinic is right here. Okay, so we've got it here. But we want to make sure that this is people that are realistically going to travel to this location. So we want to play around with this, and we want this to be like roughly a 15-minute drive, okay? If I did 5 kilometers here, how many people we got here? 170,000 to 200,000. On the right-hand side, we can see a preview of, let's see if I can get rid of this. We can see a preview. I wonder if I can accept those terms of service. No, that's fine. So you can see a preview of the audience size. Take this with a pinch of salt. It's not always correct, but you can see between 170 and 200,000 people there. This is roughly a 15-minute drive, so we'll keep this on this radius here, but we want to make sure that people don't have to travel a lot. But again, this does depend on the service. If it's a hair transplant, for example, which is a very expensive service, it cost me $6,500 to get mine. I travelled all the way from Norwich to Kent. That's about a 3.5-hour drive. People will be way more willing to drive for higher ticket services, but for small things, French manicures, cosmetics surgery, which is kind of under the price of £1,000, you don't really want to have to travel. So 15, 20 minutes, maybe an hour, but play around with this. Keep it as small as possible to start off with, and you can always expand this later down the line. Cool. We then have age. Okay, so we're going to keep this open. We have gender, you can choose, but we're going to choose women because some men will, but not many men are going to be getting French manicures. Then we have detailed targeting. So this is where we can really hone in on a specific kind of person. So if we have this browse button, we can choose from demographics. So we can choose people based on their education level. We can choose people based on their financial situation. We can choose people based on their interests. So anything, any page that they've liked, any status that they've made on Facebook, it'll be listed here. Get your words out. I'm trying to rush through this, guys, because I don't want this to be too long for you. I want you to have the condensed information. So French manicure. Okay, so we've got manicure, cosmetics. We can target this. From experience, though, I have found that it's better when you're going lead generation with the majority niches to keep your targeting pretty broad. Okay, so just do geographic and let the creative and the offer do the targeting. And what I mean by that is, the kind of person that's going to want a French manicure, when they see that ad, it's going to resonate with them, they're going to look at it. If you're not interested in a French manicure, when you see the ad, you're not going to look at it. So over time, Facebook will recognize which people are spending time looking at the ad, and then it'll actually start finding and optimizing on that specific audience because the creative did the targeting, okay? You can play around with interests, but yeah, for the majority of niches, it's going to be best to keep it broad in lead gen, for sure. Cool. We're going to save this audience. We can save this as 5 kilometers around clinic. I'm going to save that. I want to make sure that we always get into the knack of saving things with good names, because if not, things are going to get very messy very quickly. I'm speaking from experience. So we scroll down here, we then have placements, okay? Now we can select manual placements, and this is where we choose where we want Facebook to actually show our ads, okay? So if we scroll down here, we can see examples of these. Do we want the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, Facebook Marketplace, video feeds, and so on and so forth? Now it used to be the case 2 years ago that you want to get rid of all of these apart from the feed. Now I recommend people to actually keep recommended placements on. And what this will do is it'll show your ads to lots of people in lots of different areas across the Facebook and Instagram platforms. And very quickly, the platforms themselves will get to learn where is getting the majority of leads and what is performing the best. So let Facebook do its thing. Okay, the algorithm is very sophisticated now, and yeah, it's just going to be a lot better. In fact, I'm actually just saw on this audience that this audience is between 90 and 100,000 people. So I'm just going to change this to a 10-kilometer radius. So we have more people in that audience. I'm going to update that. Change this to 10. Cool. And we're good. We've got a bigger audience there. Maybe even bigger than that. We really want a minimum of realistically, we want this to be it's not the end of the world, but we kind of want it to be 150,000 plus. But again, it doesn't really make a massive difference when it comes to local lead gen. You just don't want it to be like a sub 100K audience, because you're not going to be able to spend much money. So let's do that 15K. Cool. Okay, fine. Let's hit next. So we've now done our targeting, and now we need to actually create the ad itself. So we're going to carry on the same. 15 radius, lead form, French manicure, and the creative is going to be video. Okay, I'm going to show you how to create a video. You would want to select your Instagram account at this point, and we're going to click create an ad. We're going to do a single image or video. And then what we're going to do is going to actually upload our media, okay? Just going to edit our media. And we're then going to hit upload. but we need a video to upload, right? So let's create one. Now, I recognize the majority of agency owners aren't also graphic designers or video editors, but there are so many softwares out there that can make this a lot easier for you. InVideo.io is one of those tools. I'm gonna put a link in the description to this. Now, when you create an account, you can sign up for a free trial. If you click the link, you'll see that there are over 5,000 templates. Probably way more than that right now, just last time I checked. And these are all different ad templates that you can use and edit without any video editing experience needed whatsoever. So if you click on one of these, you can see the preview. Okay, and we can edit this in portrait, square, or landscape style, depending on where we're actually advertising. If I go up to the top here, I'm doing this for like a nail salon, so we can see what kind of ads. Actually, maybe if I can even try this for the actual product itself. French manicure, what do we got? Let's have a look at this one. Cool, I like it, use this template. Now, by the way, guys, I speak really fast, as you can probably already tell. But so if I am going too fast for you, I want to get all this information in, put me at like 50% speed or whatever. Fine. Okay, so now we come through to the video editor. If you've ever tried to use a video editing tool before, you'll know this is very, very familiar. So the first thing I'm going to do is change your logo. So if we click on the logo there, I should have one somewhere. Cool. And if we add this, it's just a random logo. I don't think this is a real business. Nice. And that logo's there. So let me make this a little bit bigger. It's all very drag and drop. You don't have to worry about the formatting. Lots of it snaps the grid. And some of this stuff will be blurry right now. It's because the video isn't actually rendered yet. So don't worry, it will be better quality when it's finished rendering. Nice. So we also want to change this phone number here, but instead of having a phone number, maybe we can have this as, so we click on the right-hand side here, we can change this text. Maybe we can have that as the website. So johanna.com. Right, nice. And let's say we wanted to change the colors of these kind of bubbles that we have going on here. If we take these elements, so we need to find the elements on the right-hand side. Let's unlock it first of all. Okay, cool. That is the bubble. So we've got right animation. If we take that, and then at the top, if we go fill color, and we change this, we can change this to a bit of a kind of a more of a purple. All right, let's do this like a, do it like a light purple. Let's do the second color. Do that as a bit of a darker, richer. Okay, cool. So let's do the same for this one. And then if we change the colors here, got a preset to the bottom, so it's nice and easy for us. A little bit bright, but that'll do. What is this video? Let's have a look at what we've got going on in the background here. Okay. Right, fine. Okay. Now I don't want this to be every Tuesday. I just noticed that text, so let's just get rid of that. And that means that we can probably just move all of these bits a little bit further down. So we've got a little bit more room on the ad. Fine. If we want, we can play around with these fonts as well, so they're more suiting to the logo. Just don't just go with whatever's on the template. Make sure it is kind of brand aware. We probably need to make that a little bit smaller. Nice. Move that over. Okay, what else can we change? Okay, what about the video in the background? I don't know what this looks like. It's a nice video. I probably will actually keep this. But let's say hypothetically we want to change it. If we go to videos on the left-hand side, we can access millions upon millions of premium stock videos. Okay, you can also do exactly the same for premium stock images. If any of you try to get these before, you know these can be very, very expensive. So we type in, we've got French manicure there, saved from previous, and we've got all these different ones that we can use. I actually think this is a nice video, so we're going to keep that there. But one thing I would like to change is the music, because I don't think it's very nice. So let's go with beauty. And what have we got? No, calm down. Yeah, that'll do. I'm not actually going to run this ad, so it doesn't really matter. So I put this down at the bottom here. I drag it into the timeline. Or I can just hit the plus button. And I take it here, and I delete the old track. If I now play this. There we go. Cool, easy. So now if I want to export this, hit the export button up top right. Export best quality, full HD, and it's now going to actually render this. Cool, so here's our final video. Easy. Nice. And all we need to do is hit download, hit save, then we can upload that to Facebook. Now, quickly, before we do, I want to thank InVideo for sponsoring this video. We don't usually take sponsors, but when we actually use a product ourselves and we know that it's great, we welcome them on board. So thanks to the guys. Just a few things to finish this off on. As I said, there is a link in the description. You can sign up to InVideo. You can get 25% off if you use the code and put it on the screen, JPFB25. Now, after the free trial, you'll get access to a premium account for as little as $30 a month. You can access over 5,000 templates and that stock library of over 8 million stock images and videos. Now, I would recommend you joining the InVideo community. There's more than 30,000 marketing experts within that community. I'll put a link in the description for that. And I'd also recommend you going and following the InVideo YouTube channel. There's a bunch of information and hacks and tips and tricks and ways that you can use this tool to the best of your ability. Cool. Let's go back to Facebook and upload this. So we go, and we hit upload. Okay. Then hit next. It's going to show us what that ad will actually look like on placement. We're going to skip that for now, hit done. And now what we're going to be able to do is create the copy, so the actual text that comes along with our ad, and we're going to create the form itself. Okay, so the form for people to fill in their details. So first of all, copy-wise, it's really simple. We want to make sure we call out to a specific area. So let's do Ladies of Norwich. Now, this important thing to remember as with anything, there are 1,000 different ways to write good copy. But this is a nice, simple framework that is good to follow. So, Ladies of Norwich, we'll do some emojis there. Okay, we're going to grab some attention. French manicures are true elegance, which is why we're 25% off them for the next 10 days. To redeem this offer, click this ad. Hurry. No, let's not do that. We don't need any additional scarcity. There's a bunch of things that we can do, but we've got the attention grabber here, the scroll stopper, Ladies of Norwich. French manicures are true elegance, which is why we're giving 25% off them for 10 days. So benefit, okay, they're really elegant, which is why we're giving 25% off them. Okay, this is the offer for the next 10 days. So we've got scarcity here. To redeem this offer, click this ad. Okay, so this is a call to action. Now, it's a very, very simple product, which is why we have simple copy. Your copy will be more in depth or specific depending on the actual service itself. You might find that it's suitable to do a list for some clients. Okay, so you might do this. Okay, elegant nails, blah, 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 and you've got a benefit list. And it doesn't, not all products or services warrant this, okay? If it's a hair transplant, sure, you might want to talk about all the things that make this a USP, the things that make the service the service. With French manicure, it's pretty simple, okay? If you want me to record a video about copy in the future, drop a comment down below and I can do a really in-depth video, a whole video on copy itself, okay? Headline, we're gonna go for 20 off French manicures. Okay, and then we've got description. Description is the line just underneath this. Sometimes we like to do this. This is quite nice. 5-star. Okay, so it comes up at the bottom there. And then we can do either sign up, learn more, get offer, so on and so forth. Learn more, I think is quite nice, but also get offer is absolutely fine as well, or even apply now. So you can play around with these, but get offer is a good one for a very specific offer, okay? Now, what we need to do now is we need to actually create the form itself. So what actually happens when people click this ad? So we're gonna always select, we can choose what form type we wanna have. First of all, let's name it. It's gonna be French manicure. But we get to choose the type of form that we want. Do we want more volume? Do we want higher intent? Or do we want custom? Okay, we're only going to do more volume or higher intent. Higher intent just means it's going to be a higher quality of customer. If we're doing this for hair transplant clinics, we want to do higher intent because you get a lot of time wasters within that industry. But if in majority you want to do more volume when you're first starting out, you can dequalify people once they've actually filled in the form. So we're going to do the intro, okay? And you want to upload an image to be the back here. I'd recommend you creating an image so it's nice and clean. We're going to skip through. You can just use the image from your ads. It's just going to use the video, but that won't look as nice as possible. So we've got 25% off French manicures. And then we can have additional details here as well. Fill in the following form to redeem your offer. Redeem the offer. Hurry though. Limited spaces available. This, you can play around with this, it doesn't really matter that much. Please. And this. Quick form to redeem our offer. Hurry though, limited spaces available, so we've got a scarcity there. 24% off. Apply for 25% off French manicures. Hurry though. Now you can remove this greeting. I'd recommend you having it on there. You can play around with it, but it's good to have it on there so people know what they're actually doing. And then what's going to happen is we're going to go through to the questions. Cool. So the basic information that's already going to be on this form is email and full name, but we want to make sure we add other things on here because this information gets automatically filled by Facebook, which means you're just going to get a bunch of low quality leads for your clients. So I would recommend adding contact fields, phone number. This is essential. You absolutely want phone number. And I would also do a additional question, custom question. Okay, so for this, you want to make sure it's relevant for the actual offer itself, but you want to add a custom question so people actually have to do something and the information isn't just auto-filled. So let's do short answer, and it could be, when did you last get your nails done? Okay, cool. So we've got one simple question on there. This is a very simple service, but I would recommend adding a maximum of 3 questions. 1 to 3 is absolutely fine. If you see that the lead quality is pretty low, then you want to add more questions, okay? So there we go. We've got privacy policy. We need to add a link to the privacy policy. I'm just going to put the affluent website in there, okay? But of course, you want to make sure this goes to the clients. And then we're going to message for leads. Let's book your appointment. Okay. So what we want to do here is when someone actually fills in the form, it's going to bring them up to this page. So we want to prompt them to actually try and make a reservation straight away on the website if the client has the functionality. Not every client will have the functionality on their website. Please click the button below to visit our website and schedule your French manicure. Okay, so this is pretty simple. And then it's going to be view website and add a link, and you're going to put the booking link. If they don't have a booking link, you could do call business and put the phone number, and you could say, let's book in. Please click the button below and give us a call to schedule in your French manicure. Now, in fairness, for the majority of businesses, you're probably going to do call business because they won't actually have a direct booking page for this specific offer. Some more sophisticated companies will, but regardless, let's put it in there. Call to action. Book appointment. Okay, and now we actually have our form created. We can scroll down here and we can now set up tracking. Now, the only thing that you really need to do when you're first starting out is set up CRM, because the client you're working with might already have a CRM system that they want to use. If they don't, then I'm going to show you the tool that we use in a moment. But let's go back to this and skip these for now and hit publish. Okay, the majority of these things you do not need to play around with for an average lead gen client. Okay, now once that's done, we're going to be thrown back to Ad Manager, where we'll be able to see this ad and all the information, all the data on the actual ad itself. I'm going to turn this off so it doesn't start spending money. And let me show you some actual ad results so you can get an idea of what this actually looks like with an ad account that has actually been used. So these are some results from January. We can see we've got a client here. This is actually for lead generation for advertising space in a magazine. Let's say we're looking at this ad specifically here at the top. We've spent 1,700 euros. We've reached 140,000 people, 300,000 impressions. This is how many times we've reached people. And then we've generated 862 leads on Facebook lead form, a 1.98 or €1.98 cents. Is it cents or dollars? Cost per lead. Okay, we've got 4, almost 5 there. We've got 3 and 2. Okay, so we've generated well over 1,000 leads here for this client with literally, what have we got? 3K ad spend, which is pretty amazing. Okay, now you can play around with the columns. If we hit the columns up the top here, you can look at different data, but the only data you really want to take any notice of with lead gen clients is your cost per lead, which is the cost per result. Okay, the amount of money you're spending, and your click-through ratio as well. Okay, so what click-through percentage you're getting. So these are some of the results. Let me actually show you what we do as far as management is concerned. So I want to very, very briefly introduce you to this because I think this warrants a whole new video by itself. So this is the CRM system and lead management tool that we use called Go High Level. Okay, now what we don't have time for today is for me to go through the entire end-to-end Go High Level management right now. This requires a whole video, if not multiple videos. So if you want me to create a video on this, then drop a comment down below, Go High Level, and I'll record this video. And for at point that some of you are watching this, I will have already recorded that video. Maybe if there's enough demand, I will link this video either in the description or around here somewhere you can click it. But very briefly, I'm going to show you what this actually looks like. So when somebody actually fills in the Facebook lead form, it's going to put them in this new lead section. Okay, and then when we make contact with them, they go into contact made. And you can see we've got 1,800 leads here. If they don't answer us, they go into this bucket. This is a simple sales pipeline. And when they actually make a booking, they go into the booking made folder. You can see we can click on any of these leads and we can have conversations with them. If we want to go onto our conversations, we can see all of our kind of active leads here, people that have filled in the form, okay? And we can actually have conversations with those clients via SMS, email, Facebook Messenger, and so on. This is multi-platform. And when we get better at generating results, okay, and we don't want to use Facebook lead forms anymore because we've got proof of concept with a specific offer, you can see if we go on sites, we can look at individual funnels and we can create funnels native to this as well. So let's just say this is for hair removal, okay? We might have a funnel specific for hair removal. We can go have a look at that. And a funnel is simply a landing page that we drive traffic to off an advertising platform. So in this instance, we'll be driving traffic away from Facebook and onto this page here. Cool, so you can now see this is a simple funnel. We have our offer stated at the top. We've got a call to action button, some information, some little pricing. We've got what our client says, some testimonials. And if you click the call to actions, you fill in your first name, email, and phone number. So essentially we're replacing the Facebook form. We're driving traffic from Facebook straight through to a landing page instead to get higher quality leads. And they're gonna then, when they fill in these details, be put straight onto the pipeline so we can manage them there. In fact, let me finish this video by going back over to this camera. Now, lead generation agencies have developed. And by the way, guys, drop a comment. If you want me to go through this stuff in more detail, I can. Drop a comment down below and we can go through the appointment setting side. This video is really just meant to be how you launch the ads and generate leads. But lead generation agencies who only run ads to generate leads and then hand over the lead straight to the client, in my opinion, are going to die very, very quickly. I think it's very, very important in this day and age that as an agency, we have a duty to actually be appointment setting the leads. Because the issue with many lead generation agencies is they might generate 100 leads for a business, hand them over to the business and say, cool, here's a list of interested customers. But if that business are not very good at sales and their sales process isn't very good, then they're not going to be able to generate income from those leads and they're going to see your service as not being very good. So instead, what most agencies should be doing right now is taking the leads, having them input into a CRM system that they manage themselves, and then the agency themselves, so you guys, then go speak to those leads and book them into the calendar and appointment set them, hence the process appointment setting. This is a much better solution. And it really then covers the complete end-to-end for the client. And all they have to do is pay you a monthly fee and get new clients booked straight onto their calendar. Cool. Let's speak about that more in the future. This is more than enough for you to get stuck into for now. Hope you all have a great day. I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.